Okay, so Zestem at ZESDEM asked me how I might approach animating a spiral staircase. Okay, and so first and foremost, we want to do some research. So I started looking up spiral staircases, and I found this little image over here, and I'm pretty sure it was done in AutoCAD or Autodesk. So let's click on it, and I am just going to screen capture this. We're going to use it as reference for our animation. Okay, so let's come back to, let's go ahead and save it to the desktop, and we'll call this stairs, because you never know, we might need it in the future. Let's hit OK, and let's go to our desktop and drag it in. So this will be our reference, and I'm just going to scale it up and get it the size we need. Okay, and let's change the opacity down and lock it. Okay, let's try something like that. And we're gonna add a pillar in the middle, okay? So let's create a new column and call this the pillar. And I'm gonna get a raster brush, my pencil brush that I like to use right here. And let's just start sketching the pillar. So I'm gonna have it butted right up against these stairs. I'm going to use my field guide as guide, sketching the width of this pillar. Okay, so it's going to come down, and then I'm going to hug the edge of these stairs right here. And you can make a really nice line. I'm just gonna keep it rough. I like that sketchy look. Okay, so let's turn that off. And let's come in here and, ooh, you know, yeah. I want to do the pillar on a separate column. So I'm gonna have another column for just the stairs. So on this pillar column, let's do, if you see the top of the stairs, let's do a curve down like this. Okay, this will kind of help guide where each of the steps goes. Okay, it doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, so let's go on that way. And we're still seeing the top of the stairs, so let's still go like that. Okay, and now let's switch to, I kind of want to see how far apart these are. About 2. Okay, and like I said, we're not going to be really super precise with this, so these are going to start curving up, because now we're going up with the stairs. Okay, the important thing is that these get lined. We can loop them back to themselves. Okay, and I'll show you what I mean, or how I plan on doing it, I should say. Alright, so that's our pillar. Then this is going to rotate, and so those lines are going to come down, okay? Okay, so what I'm going to do is set this up so it loops back on itself, okay? So let's insert a keyframe, go to frame 2, and just start sketching. I'm going to turn on onion skin. Okay, we can kind of think of this as an in-between, because this pillar is going to loop back to itself on frame 1, okay? So like this would be between here and here. Okay, so we're just in betweening it. Remember, these are looping down, like curving down. We want to make sure an in between them, curving down. Okay, I'm going to try to do this kind of fast and loose, just to make sure this is going to work. Okay, so go to frame 3 and hit 1 and enter. Okay, so now we have the lines coming down and going back to themselves, if that makes sense. We're just going back to 1, okay? And we want to do the same thing with the stairs. We're just going to keep it as simple as we can, as long as we can. Let's go to column 3, and we'll call this stairs. And let's get the pencil tool, and we're just going to go to frame 1, and just see if we can't get... You could do this a different color. That might be cool. So we could change this to like a blue. Just to kind of keep it separate from the pillar. Okay. And come in here. And you could look up how to draw stairs if you want and figure all this out mathematically and all that stuff, but I don't like doing that. So we're going to do it like this. Okay, so this one is still, yeah, it's still coming around. That one's still coming around. Okay, and I have a feeling this edge won't change, and neither will this edge. Okay, so what we're going to try to do is just loop it back one step. Okay, we're not going to try to animate this whole thing. We're just going to try to make, you know, like this step right here go down to be this step, okay? So we'll see if we can... So if you keep it simple, you can pretty much loop anything you want. Like, you could have a railing out here that's real ornate and intricate if you want. Once you understand the principle of just getting it back to itself, that's the key. You just want to go back to frame 1. Okay. This is coming around. I don't think you would see that. Okay. Oh, I forgot a line right here. Okay, so if we shade these faces in, and that's really the only faces we see. Okay, so let's lock and rename this P for pillar and S for stairs. Okay, now that our stairs are made, let's maybe make some guidelines to try to make our lives a little bit easier. Okay, when we're in betweening. So let's create a new column and we'll call this guides. Hit OK. And I want to do like a, let's do like a green. See if that, we'll see if we can see that. Let's get the pencil tool. And I'm just going to go over, I think I just want to come straight down these corners. Okay. And let's go down these corners. That's what this way when we're in betweening it, maybe we can use that as a guide for our in-betweens. Okay, and every one of these steps is pretty much on a line for the peeler. Okay, so that's something to keep in mind. Let's move this below the stairs and let's just drag it down and lock it and go back to our stairs. Make sure we're on our pencil brush. Okay, so the idea here is that we're going to loop back to ourselves just like we did with the pillar. So we're going to loop back to frame 1. Okay, so let's insert a frame and click so it creates a blank one. And now let's go to frame 3, double click, type 1 and enter, and this will loop us back to frame 1. Okay, so we can move our stop marker up. And so basically we're going from this drawing of the stairs, and they're going to come down and end up in this exact same position. Okay, so we just need to find an in-between for that. So let's do our in-between in red. Let's get the pencil and change our color to red. And hopefully this will help us kind of keep things sorted out. So this might get a little tricky in here, but this front face right here gonna come down to be that front face. Okay, so that's what we're in betweening. Okay, so I'm just gonna try to keep it simple and look at these two lines, and I'm just gonna in between those two lines. Okay, just like that. And so now we'll go down to the next two lines. Okay, in between those, and this is like the top front edge of the steps. That's what I'm in betweening. Okay, so now we're going to in between those two. So we're just going to extend it out to that guide we made. Okay, so that's telling us where the corners are going to go. Okay, so now I'm going to look at this line right here and this line, and I'm going to in between that. Okay, and now let's go this line and this line. We're going to in between those two lines. So that comes out to about right here. We're just going to do straight in betweens, okay? Nothing fancy. And now we're going to look at the next two. So these stairs are turning away from us, okay? And now let's look at that one. We'll go ahead and in between it like that. Okay. Okay, so if we flip, you can see we're going from frame 1 to 2 back to 1, okay? And that's going to be our cycle. So now let's just figure out how to get these to come down. So now we're going to look at this line right here, and that will be our next in-between line. So let's go back here to our guides and let's draw a guide. I should have made that guide come up like that on all of those lower corners. Okay, let's lock it and come back. Make sure we're on our red. And this is that lower. It's that lower line right there. Okay, Okay, so it might be something like that. Okay, now we can just fill in the steps. And so this line, it's gonna be right in there. So come down. And this line, I'm just trying to track all of these lines, okay? It's gonna go there. And we'll see if that works. I might need to extend that out a bit and make an actual corner. Okay, we'll see. That might be a little tricky corner right there, but we'll make it work. We'll make it work. Okay. So let's try to get that corner in there. And it's really easy to lose track of what in the heck's going on. So just try to stay focused. I'm just going to adjust some of these as I need. As I go along and I see that it's not working, I'm just going to adjust them, okay? So just stick with it. You can do it. So here's a corner. Okay. We'll see. I think that's how that would work out. Okay, let's turn off onion skinning and turn off our guides. I just want to see if everything's working. I need the bottom of the stairs in here for sure. Like that's not going to change. That's a solid shape, and this bottom isn't going to change. Okay. We can clean this up. We can clean this up later. Let's just figure out the mechanics of it. Okay. So you can kind of see. You can kind of see when things aren't working right? You might just need to eyeball it and readjust some lines. Okay, I'm just going to readjust those. That needs to go all the way over there. I was cutting myself short. That's why that step wasn't looking right. Okay. Okay, that's feeling pretty good. So we have everything coming in back. So everything's leaving frame 1 and everything's coming back to frame 1. Okay. So now we want to break this down and add some more in-betweens. Okay. So let's go in here and insert a frame between 1 and 3, and then insert another frame. And we're just going to add some in-betweens, okay? So let's come in here, auto-renumber this, all of these layers. And let's move our guides down. I just kind of like having everything equal. So let's start with the pillar. And go to frame 2. And we're just going to click and start in-betweening this. Okay. And remember, all the lines are going down. So we're going from 1 down to 3. Okay. Okay, so we're just gonna in between below the blue, in between the blue and the red. Okay, so now let's go down and in between 3 and back to 1. And once we do this, we're gonna do the same thing for the pillar, for the stairs. So again, just below every blue line. I know, kitty, you got the zoomies. Okay, and see how it goes back to 1? So if we cycle through it, you get this looping pattern. So let's put our stop marker at 4 and hit play, and you just see it looping. Okay, and so let's go over here to the stairs and do the exact same thing. And it's going to be a little more complicated, but we can do it. So we're going to go, we're on frame 2, and let's go ahead and get a black brush and click, okay? And we're going to leave our guides on. Okay. So now what we're going to do is in between the blue and the red, okay? So that does not look black. I didn't change the color. Okay, here we go. That way we can kind of tell, hopefully, when we're in betweening and we're not in betweening. Okay, so just stick with it. It's going to start to kind of get confusing. You might have to erase a lot. But we're going from this step. You see, I already messed up. Okay. That step to that step. So here's a corner. Okay, let's do that again. It can get a little confusing, but we're gonna go in here. This will be that step. Okay. So do you see how that step is swinging around? Ah, I did it. Dang it, I did it to the blue, so this step is swinging around. Okay, we can do this. Okay, this step is swinging around. Got that step in. So now let's try this step right here. It's coming down. It can get really confusing. So let's see, this step is coming down. Just trying to take it one step at a time. That's to not confuse myself. Okay. This one is here. And this one is here. Okay, I'm just trying to take it one step at a time. Literally. This will stay the same. This one's going to come out here. Okay, that feels pretty good. I'm gonna try to get this stair to track a little better. Okay, like I said, it might just take some trial and error, but we're just trying to in between and get back to 1. Okay, well, this time we're just doing 1 to 3, but now let's do 3 back to 1. So we're going to go to frame 4. We're still going to use our black pencil, and this is going to go 3. So we're going to go down 3 to 1. Okay. So here's 3. And 3 to 1. Okay, that's the first step. Okay. And back to 1. Okay, so just go through each step and in between it, okay, between 3 and 5. If you need to, like I said, you can work backwards if it makes things a little more clear. That's gonna be tough. Okay. Let's get these front edges in again. Okay, and you'll start to see them track down. You just follow a line. You can kind of see it start to make sense. Okay. Let's get this corner in here. See, like this corner right here. Might have to re-angle this line. Sometimes it's easier for me to just eyeball it. This corner is coming down. Okay. So it's getting there. Do you see it? We're starting to feel it. We're just tracking each one of these lines. Okay, don't give up. It'll be worth it when we figure this out. Okay. Yeah, I think I have pretty good hurt down on the stairs, and I think I have a pretty good idea what's going on. So it's just staying patient with yourself and tracking each step as it comes down and around, okay? And if you get lost, just try and just stick to one stair and just focus on that one till you get it worked out, okay? This one, I'm gonna go back. I'm not liking how it changes so much. Okay, so let's look at the stairs up here. We're gonna loop back to frame 1. And so let's go to 3. Let's see if we can just get an in-between, just like I talked about before. So if this is... maybe that's coming up like that. Okay, so now on 2, all we have to do is in between it. Okay, so here's 2. Now all we have to do is in between. Okay, and then if we go to frame 4, all we have to do is get it back to 1. I think that feels pretty good. Yeah. Okay. Sweet. Let's reset rotation. change the value on that pillar. And what's cool is we can come in here to like this S, we can change this color back to black if we want, and change this one back to black. And what we're seeing is the onion skin. Okay, so let's put this all on 2s and see what it feels like. 2s and 2s. We can delete those and bring our stop marker down to 8. Okay, cool. I'm gonna go in here to the stairs, and I'm just gonna shade these real quick. All the front faces. Since I started that anyway. Let's see if that makes a difference. Let's just quickly come in here. Shade these. It makes it a little harder down the road because you might have to erase where you shaded, but this is, I feel like this is just a rough anyway, and once I figure this out, I'm going to go in and clean this up. So I'm just trying to work out how these steps move. Okay, all right, let's hit play. Okay, let's slow it down even more. Let's put it on 4s. And bring this down to 16 and see what it feels like. Ooh, that's kind of cool. And we could even go in here and do some light shading up underneath. I think that'd be cool. Okay, it needs a little fine tuning, but that's the idea. We just want to get back to 1, okay? Keep in mind, just try and keep it simple and just go from 1 and do an in between and then back to 1 and then in between those two and then in between the in-betweens, okay? So that was fun. I can't wait to get a character in here like walking up these stairs and cleaning this up. If you stuck with me, thanks, and happy animating, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.